everybody, I'm Mark Friestad with today's Daily Hope, and we're looking today at Psalm 17. The Psalms, as you may know, were songs that were sung by worshipers. And just like you and I experience different types of songs today, there's love songs, and there's breakup songs, and there's celebration songs, and special occasion songs. The same is true of the Psalms. So it's important to know that Psalm 17 is the style of psalm called a lament. That's the most popular category of psalms. They are laments. And when a person is making a lament, they are calling out to God with the desperation of their situation. They might even be voicing a complaint or a frustration with God. And maybe communicating to God in that way is foreign to you because you've been taught that we should only say good things about God, nice things about God. And you'll read the language of a lament, and it just sounds like someone is complaining about everything that's going wrong. Well, here's the important thing about what makes a true lament. When someone is lamenting to God, they're pouring out their heart. God wants that. He wants us to communicate with Him in absolute honesty. But it's not a pouring out our heart like a breakup letter. Like, this is it, God, I'm not believing in you anymore. Instead, what it is it's actually an expression of our faith in Him despite our circumstances. So we're saying, God, I believe this. I believe that you're good and true and trustworthy and merciful. But what I'm experiencing in my life right now is this. Help me bring these together and line these things up. And that's the category or the style of a lament. So this is a lament of David. The psalm says that. It's a prayer of David. And it's interesting as you read Psalm 17 that he talks about his own righteousness, how he is not to blame, he hasn't done anything wrong, in opposition to his opponents who he is speaking against. You know, sometimes we all know that we've sinned and fall short of the glory of God, but sometimes that sin nature can become an excuse where people just say, well, nobody's perfect. We're all going to sin, so whatever. The truth is, we should try to live righteously. We should try to fight against sin in our lives, and we should see progress. And David here is just saying that he's been faithful to God. He is seeing progress. We don't boast in our own righteousness. We don't set aside God and say, I've got this life thing figured out all by myself. But it is okay to practice righteousness. In fact, the Bible expects it. So notice that when you read Psalm 17. And the other thing is a little phrase in verse 8 called the apple of your eye. I'll read it to you. Keep me, God, as the apple of your eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. The apple of your eye has become an English expression that means someone is cherished. They're special to you. But before it was an English expression, it was a Hebrew expression. And they actually believed that the pupil in your eye was a round sphere, like an apple. That's where the expression, apple of your eye, comes from. Now think what happens if you don't protect the pupils in your eyes. You can't see anymore. So when David is asking God, keep me as the apple of your eye, he's saying, protect me in the same way that you would protect your own pupils, because without your pupil, you're not going to be able to see. That's a bold ask by David. God, consider me as special to you that you would protect me in the way that you would protect your own eyesight. Care for me in that way, that you would care for the most essential body part in your eye to allow you to see. How do you feel? Think about this as you read Psalm 17 today. How do you feel about approaching God in that way and making that very bold ask? So bear those things in mind as you read this lament, which is Psalm 17. And I work with children and youth at the church, and I want to encourage you, if you've got kids at home and you're headed into the fall season, we continue to produce original content for birth through high school that you can find all about on our website, northcoastcalvary.org. And if you've got someone coming into 7th grade, a 6th grader graduating into 7th grade, please come to one of our in-person info nights. It's intended for parents and kids together. And we would love to meet you in a socially distanced, safe way, but get our face in front of your incoming 7th grader. Have a great day.